The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said to his disciples, while still more people gathered in the crowd, Jesus said to them, "This generation is an evil generation. It seeks a sign, but no sign will be given it except the sign of Jonah. Just as Jonah became a sign to the Ninevites, so will the Son of Man be to this generation. At the judgment, the Queen of the South will rise with the men of this generation, and she will condemn them, because she came from the ends of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon, and there is something greater than Solomon here. At the judgment, the men of Nineveh will rise with this generation and condemn it, because at the preaching of Jonah they repented, and there is something greater than Jonah here." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
As I was reading this Gospel this morning, I caught myself doing something that probably is not good. I said, when I got to the line, "This generation is an evil generation," I was like, you know, Jesus, you're exactly right. This generation is an evil generation. What are we going to do about it? I'm like, whoa. I'm dangerously close to the prayer of the Pharisee who said, "Oh, thank God, Lord, I'm not like these other sinners." Very close to that. What's Jesus, well, if you remember the beginning of the story of Jonah, when God tells him to go to Nineveh, he's like, "Nineveh? No, I'm good." Nineveh had a reputation as like a city full of sinners. I mean, think of kind of the caricatures of Las Vegas, and that's kind of what Nineveh was. You know, it's like, go to Nineveh? There's nobody good there in Nineveh. Why would I go to Nineveh? Well, that's exactly the point that God had. Go and preach my word and you'll see. And Jonah went, and everybody's like, wow, we need to get our act together. And it worked, and it astonished Jonah. This reluctance to go where God is sending us, Pope Francis calls it the Jonah syndrome. And he said that there's some people, church-type people, who are looking for a sign, and the sign they're looking for is holiness in others. And if that's not there, then I don't have nothing to do with you. And that's what Pope Francis calls the holiness syndrome. He said they're looking for a holiness that you can get, and this is a quote, that you can get from the dry cleaners. It's pressed and clean and nice and neat and pretty, and that I'll be associated with. But go and hang out with a bunch of sinners? No. Well, we're all sinners. And the trap is the one of the Pharisee or the Sadducee who says, "Thank God, Lord, I'm not like the rest of these sinners." So I think during this Lent, we pray for the grace to have the trust that God is sending us to the places that are most in need, to the people who are most in need. And we're not to look for a sign. We're not to look and judge them whether or not they're holy or worthy or good or any of that. We're certainly not to condemn them.